Welcome to the Find Your Leadership Confidence podcast with Vicki Noethling. You are about to discover impactful lessons that help you grow as an individual, grow your confidence, and find the positive and good within you, so you powerfully and authentically become the best version of yourself. Be sure you visit our website at www.findyourleadershipconfidence.com. While you're there, subscribe to us via your favorite network. Now tune in, get ready, and enjoy the journey of emerging as a leader of exception in the 21st century.
Welcome, everyone, to the Find Your Leadership Confidence podcast. I'm your host, Vicki Noethling, coming to you from Roswell, Georgia. The goal of this podcast is to bring topics and guests that will empower you to become that confident leader and take your business and your life to the next level. Today, I am happy to have my friend, Rochele Marie Lawson, back on. She was one of my first guests, and it's been too long since I've had her on the podcast. So excited to have another great conversation with Rochele. And let me tell you about her. She is an RN, an AHP, a CMS, and the queen of feeling fabulous. She is an essential entrepreneur and wellness advocate, and with an illustrious 3-decade career. As the CEO of All Day Cable Inc. and the founder of Blissfully Living for You, she stands as a pioneer in both telecom and wellness industries. Since 2011, Rochele has hosted the Blissfully Living podcast, guiding listeners in wellness, entrepreneurship, and personal empowerment. Her extensive experience as a registered nurse and alternative health practitioner enriches her unique approach to holistic health and business success. Rochele, gosh, I'm going to pause a second. Let's do this. Becca, we're going to pick up after business success. Rochele is also the #1 international best-selling author, inspiring countless women to achieve their fullest potential. So today's title and interview's topic is going to be Unlocking the Unlimited Possibilities Through Community, Connection, and Collaboration. Please join me in welcoming Rochele. Rochele, you know that I love to connect people, and I believe that community is the secret to having a really fulfilling life. And recently, in these last year or so, collaboration has been a big part of things. So I think this is a great topic for our audience to remind them of those 3 things that do unlock those possibilities. But before we get started, I always ask a couple questions. First is tell everybody where you're living right now. And then the second is just share briefly about your journey that really has led you to what you're doing today.
Okay. So right now, currently I'm in Spring Branch, Texas, which is about 35 minutes north of San Antonio. I am a native California, San Francisco, Silicon Valley, Bay Area girl, will always be a Cali girl. Just saying, I still have my properties in California. And, I'm saying I'm proud to be from the Golden State. And so, I'm sorry, what was the next question?
So just talk about your journey. You didn't start out, you were you're a registered nurse. So
Yeah.
You went from maybe that 9 to whatever registered nurse time is,
11 p.m. to 7 a.m.
Yeah.
So my journey started in entrepreneurship when I couldn't get hired as an electrical engineer after graduating from an engineering school in Silicon Valley because I was the wrong gender. And that led me to do a couple things. It led me to, one, go back to school to get an RN, to obtain my bachelor's in nursing and become a registered nurse, focusing in emergency room trauma and life flight medicine, but also led me to start my first business in 1990, which was All Day Cable Incorporated, the first woman-owned, minority-owned telecommunications installation company in the United States. And I am still the CEO of that corporation. And so I think the combination of having that analytical, logical mind as an engineer, and then having that caring, compassionateness that was always in me since I was a child, and being able to utilize that as a registered nurse brought me full forward to starting Blissful Living for You, which is all about helping women to balance their wellness, wisdom, and wealth so that they can not only have the life of their dreams, but live the life of their dreams and be able to set up wealth for their future female generations. So,
And it's probably one of the main reasons that I do what I do, to try to connect women with people like you, because I think a lot of times they think they're alone, that there's no one else that's going to help them, that maybe they don't even realize that there are people like yourself who didn't let the norm dictate who they are going to become. And I think that's why I love to have folks like you that can share your story. So you believe in nurturing 3 pillars of well-being. So share with the audience what they are and how they can help in our journey of unlocking our unlimited possibilities.
So there's a couple things. Of course, pillars that I focus on are wellness, wisdom, and wealth. And I say your greatest asset, and anyone knows that have had any struggles with their health and well-being, that your well-being is your greatest asset. That's your greatest gift of wealth. Without well-being, you can't enjoy the financial wealth and prosperity that we all seek and desire, right? And so that's very pivotal. And then the other component, which is very key to connecting wellness to wealth, is wisdom or mindset. And if you don't have the right mindset, I don't care you're managing your well-being or your wealth, it's not going to flow, it's not going to happen. And so those are the pillars that I focus on. But when it comes to expanding what we do and sharing our gifts with the world, I think these other components are very powerful, and actually they do unlock the unlimited possibilities in your business and in your life. And that is community, connection, and collaboration. And when you put the triple W, wellness, wisdom, and wealth, with community, connection, and collaboration, you have some keys there that will help you to really unlock the unlimited possibilities in all aspects of your life.
And I think that's important because, you should share your wisdom, you should share your wealth, and you should make people aware of the potential of having the wellness piece. And there are so many people that they work themselves to the grave and don't live. They don't really live. They are just existing. They aren't in their present. They're worrying about the future, regretting the past, and they really just are not there. And so I think, it's something that people should really think about, to pause. I often in interviews talk about how the pandemic, while it was also terrible, it gave us time to stop, to slow down, to really think, what is my purpose? What do I want my legacy to be? And I think it also started to demonstrate how important community is, and how we needed those connections. That living in our isolated areas, we miss those connections. And the only way we got through this is that we collaborated with ideas and things to break through those walls of isolation that was put upon us.
I agree 100%. Back in the day before cell phone and all this technology, I used to spend a lot of time talking on the phone with my girlfriends and family members and things of that nature. But with the advent and influx of all of this technology, that kind of old school stuff went away. You kind of lose a little bit of connection because you get caught up in just doing day-to-day stuff, right? I have my phone out. They'll always be there, but it's very different than how the advent of all this technology is. So when COVID came along, it actually forced us to get back into some of that old school mindset and really appreciating and valuing, our connections with our family, friends, colleagues, business partners, things of that nature, because we didn't have that opportunity to have that reach out and touch someone. Remember that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I'm
that's
dating this.
right.
I'm
No,
really
no.
dating this, but we didn't have that opportunity. And so it really, I think, took us back to understanding the value, one, of our health and well-being. Because I had people that I talked to today that died tomorrow. Literally, I had a friend that I went to high school with, and we were talking on Wednesday, and she had asthma really bad, and by Saturday she had passed away. And so, but when I had talked to her, she sounded great, but she had an asthma attack that night, had to go into the hospital and never recovered and passed away 2 days later. And so really, really brought home to my side how important it is to keep that connection with your community, whether it's your business community or your personal community, because you never know what's in someone's future or what's even in your future. And so it's precious to enjoy every moment that we're here, even though those times that are not good, and we all have had them, but
Yes,
those
we will.
precious moments, right?
Yeah. And I think, when the times are not good, and we do all have them, that's when you really can utilize your community, those people important to you, to not put up walls, but really, to share your struggles, and those people don't have to be the solvers of the problem. They just have to be there. They have to just be a hand to hold, a shoulder to cry on. And I think that's something that, we all need to, especially as women. I think for so long, we all thought to be great leaders, we had to toughen up. And one of the reasons I teach leading with the heart, the head, and the hand is that no, you need to show empathy. Use your gut to tell you what's right, and don't be afraid to cry or to be vulnerable, because it allows and gives permission to those around you to do the same.
I agree. When someone cries, we all know people that can cry on a dime, right? I'm not a crier. Um, and I think it's probably has something to do with when I was a little kid. But I do have empathy, and in the context of when I was working as an emergency room trauma nurse, I've seen some really ugly, nasty, horrible things.
Yeah.
My patients would come in sometimes just with these heartfelt stories that would just break your heart.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, I'm empathetic, so it allowed me to be empathetic, but I also allowed them to cry on my shoulder if they needed to, because it would allow them to release some of that pain, trauma, sadness that was in them. And they were very appreciative for that. So even though I'm not that type of person that cries, I can have empathy and compassion for
Sure.
those that release, whatever it is pent up inside of them by shedding those tears, because it is beautiful, and it allows them to be in their most vulnerable place.
Mm-hmm.
It allows them to take the steps forward to begin that healing.
Yeah, and that's really part of that wellness part. So, in every aspect of your life and your success, I see a tie to community connection and collaboration. So, you have started a nonprofit. So, since the last time we've talked, I wanted you to just share a little bit about that, how that is tied to community connection and collaboration. And also, you've been, since I've known you, you've been working with veterans, and just tell how that aligns with your business, and really feeds your legacy?
So I haven't actually started the nonprofit yet. It's gonna be happening this year.
All right.
But I think you're referring to my summits, the Brave, Bold, Unstoppable Woman summits. And those summits are about bringing women, entrepreneurs, and career professionals together so that they can learn how to build, sustain, and grow their business empires or their careers in the direction that they see fit for them. And part of that mission, or part of my mission with that, is really to unite women, because we're going to be the change agents, and we are the change agents to make the world a better place. But we cannot forget any of our women. And so often in our society, we have forgotten about our women veterans.
Yeah.
Now, what brought that to the foresight of my mind was, I have nieces that have served in the military, so they're women veterans. I have friends that I've been friends with since I was a little girl, 6, 7 years old, that are veterans. And one of my friends is the first African American female combat pilot for the Marines.
Wow.
And did Desert Storm, flew her, Apache helicopter in and was saving lives in hostile environments. When I came to San Antonio, the military city USA, you see the men, veterans, they wear it loud and proud. I mean, they're so boastful, it's almost ridiculous. But you don't see the women. They're here, but they're invisible. And then I started paying attention. They're actually invisible in our society. We don't see them on TV. When you hear the word veteran, you think of a man, because that's how we've been programmed strategically and systematically, right? And so I'm like, I've got to support women veterans. I got to see what's going on with them. And when I reached out to several organizations, one organization in Sacramento, California, headed up by Melissa A. Washington, the Women's Veterans Alliance, she was able to give me some hardcore information. She's a woman veteran, and she gave me some hardcore information about how difficult it is for women veterans to transition from military life to civilian life. And the story she shared with me broke my heart. So it was like, this is a slam dunk. In order for us to be a brave, bold, unstoppable community of women around the world, we cannot forget our women veterans.
Yeah.
They serve, they sacrifice just like the guys, but why aren't we giving them the kudos like we do the men? Why aren't they getting the help like the guys get? And so part of with my Brave, Bold, Unstoppable Women Summit is I bring women veterans. I have them come. They get discounted tickets. They can come for free. But those women veterans that are in that particular city that are doing things to help other women veterans in their community, well, I recognize them. I bring them up to the front of the stage and I recognize them with an award, whether it's a service award or some other type of award. They get recognized. And then in addition to that, I bring up all the women veterans in attendance and recognize them and give them their salute and their applause, because believe it or not, without them, we wouldn't be here and be able to do some of the things that we do. So it's important for me that we don't forget any women and we don't leave any women behind. And so often we get stuck in these little pigeonholes, so to speak. But as a gender, as a society, it's imperative that as women unite, especially now.
Yeah, I've interviewed probably 5 or 6 men, veterans, and I would love to have some of your Rolodex, that's an old term, some of your list of females that have, come back from serving and have made a difference. And definitely would be awesome.
I would definitely share that with you. There's actually one Gail, that I can think of, Captain Renee Jones Hudson, that's in Atlanta, served in the military for many, many years and retired. She's a retired military veteran. She's a captain. And I think her story would be very compelling. I have a few others too.
Yeah, let's do that.
That's that collaboration connection.
You and I have always been on the same page, because as soon as you said that, exactly those words came to my mind. Oh, that is hilarious. All right. So what are some practical steps the audience out there can take to start unlocking their own possibilities and find the wellness, the wisdom, the wealth the community, the connection and the collaboration that will make success come effortlessly. It's always this light edge, this little things that you do in each of those areas that over time you say, oh, how did I get to this good life?
So one of the first things I would say, and I'm going to tackle the wellness, wisdom, wealth component first, is I practice a discipline called Ayurveda. It's a holistic modality and it originated in India. But what's beautiful about Ayurveda is it's specifically unique to you. And how you find out what your uniqueness is by taking a dosha quiz, which you can take on my site, Blissful Living for You. It's a quiz, it's free, you get your unique essence. When you understand how you ebb and flow in the world, it becomes so much easier to go forward and command your throne, so to speak. And so that's one of the things I think is really important, because for me, for instance, I'm full of fire. So my dosha is pitta. And anybody that's been around me for a little bit knows I'm full of fire. It could be good, bad, or indifferent, but I'm full of fire. But until I recognize that, I would do things and didn't understand why people would have a reaction or why things wouldn't happen. And I'm, hustling and grinding, but I'm on that hamster wheel, not getting anywhere faster. Yeah. It's because I didn't understand how I ebb and flow with my unique essence in the world. So that's one of the things. Once you understand how you ebb and flow, then you can do the right things to make sure you stay in balance and in synchronicity with your unique essence. When it comes to community connection and collaboration, finding the right community can be a huge game changer. For instance, the community that I created this collaborative book called Unstoppable, Being Fierce, Fearless, and, in business and life. And it was a collaborative effort of the women that came together, and we created our own community from that book. And we continue to support each other today. And just so you guys know, it is a bestseller. And Vicki is in the book. She's one of the authors in this collaborative book. But we now have this own unique little pod community that we can reach out to anybody in any of those authors in the book, and they'd be willing to, one, do something you ask them to do, to make an introduction to somebody they may know that and possibly collaborate, such as what we're doing today. And so it's really, really important. Every time I found the right community for me, again, when I say right, because it ebbed and flowed with my unique dosha, unique essence in the world. Every time I found that right community, I was able to make very deep, heartfelt connections, not the surface stuff that deep, heartfelt connection, right? And then by having those deep, heartfelt connections, I was able to collaborate and scale my businesses. And my businesses are completely in two different arenas. One is a male-dominated industry, and the other one is a touchy-feely, industry. But those communities and those deep felt connections allow me to collaborate and take my businesses to levels in the stratosphere. So I think those are important. And I keep going back, is when you find your unique essence, sometimes we're traveling down our path to bliss, as I like to say, and we're just, traveling. Ever see the kid? Remember when we used to walk? I don't know if you guys did this, but I'm sure people can relate to this. We used to, me and my cousin, who was a boy, because grew up around a
tomboy.
Yeah, we used to walk. It seemed like a mile to the bus stop, right? And just walking, I'm doing something, I'm paying attention to flowers or whatever. He's throwing rocks, whatever it was, there was different things that we were doing, but we were on the path together. And even though we were maybe walking separately, maybe behind me or in front of me, on the side of me, whatever it was, we're on the path together. I was experiencing different things than he was experiencing, but we're on the exact same path from our house to the bus stop, right? And the end destination was getting to the bus stop and getting on the bus to get to school. And so I say that with people in life, we may be traveling together on the same path, but we're going to have different experiences. And until you know your true unique essence, you cannot appreciate your experience, let alone somebody else's experience.
That's
You know,
right.
so I think those are keys. It's just starting with finding out your unique essence that will open up worlds of information about you. And it'll even take you back to a kid when you're a kid, like, okay, that's why I did that, or that's why I like that, or that's why I didn't like that, or that's why she got on my nerves, or whatever it was. But it begins to open up a wealth of information
Yeah.
that allows you to be better today.
Yeah. So true. So you had a book launch in 2023, October 2023. Just share a little bit about this new book.
So I've actually had two, and I'm not sure which one
Ah,
you're talking about. The first one is a book that was in the making since 2012, so a little bit of time, and it's called 365 Days of Affirmations for Year Bliss, and it seems to be blowing up around the world. But
awesome.
basically, it's a book of affirmations, 365 affirmations that you can, whatever, you can start from one and go to 365, or you can open up the page, and whatever page you open up, that's your message for today. But on top of that, it has an intention that goes with each affirmation so that you hold yourself accountable to intentionally making that affirmation a reality in your life for that particular day. And the way it's numbered, it's, like I said, it's not, January through December, it's 1 through 365. So whatever you open up is your
Number.
message for the day. Yeah. And then the other book, it's called The Unstoppable Woman's Manifesto.
Yes.
And that book is a book about 12 disciplines, 12 unique things that I've done and every successful queen has done to build, sustain, and expand, as well as command their empires. And what I did was I've had a connection to ancient Egypt since I was a little girl. And so I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go back and find out how those queens, you know, that are standing next to those pharaohs, how they were able to maneuver and manage way thousands and thousands and thousands of
Yeah.
years ago. And so I channeled Queen Nefertiti, who was a queen to Akhenaten, her husband, who actually they were in a revolutionary time where they took Egypt from many gods to one god. So can you imagine how disruptive that was
Yeah.
to the country back then? But she commanded that, and she is one of the 5 females that became pharaoh in the history of Egypt. So loved it. But also I took a look at the other very successful queens that we've had in the world, and particularly our beloved Queen Elizabeth. Now, I'm not British, no, by no means, but this lady led her, British Empire for what, 70 years or
Yeah.
so? And it takes everything that I share in the Unstoppable Woman's Manifesto to be able to do that. And she did it graciously, honorably, and successfully. And so that's just a little tickler about the book. If you're
Awesome.
interested, you should pick up that book for sure, because there's words of wisdom in there that you can incorporate into your life and into your business today.
Awesome. All right, it is time now, as time always flies by when I talk to Rochele. It's time now for me to share her contact information. So if you were just listening, you know the drill. You should have been taking notes already, but if you didn't, go run and get that paper and pen to be able to get her website information and be able to connect. So the website is blissfullyforyou.com. That's BLISSFULLIVING and the number 4U. So blissfullyforyou.com. On Facebook, she's Rochele.Lawson.5. LinkedIn is Rochele Marie Lawson. Instagram is Rochele Lawson. Instagram is blissfully_for_you. Twitter is Rochele Lawson. I'm going to turn it over to Miss Rochele to talk about the things that you can find on her website and all of her social media, and also have an invitation to join the Bold, Unstoppable Women's community and maybe get those books, 365 Affirmations, or that Unstoppable,
Women's Manifesto.
Women's Manifesto. Yes, Women's Manifesto. All right, it's all yours.
Okay, so again, here's all my information. Thank you so much, Vicki. You can go to the website, Blissful Living for You, Blissful Living, the number 4, the letter U.com. And on the website, you'll find an abundance of things. You'll find, for one, that dosha quiz that allows you to find out what your unique true essence is. And here's something that I want to tease you with. You see, your dosha was created the moment your mommy's egg, hopefully your mommy don't have a sperm, but I don't know.
Yeah, mommy's egg.
Never know. But
Yeah.
the moment that egg allowed that little sperm to come in to create you, that's when your unique essence and your unique dosha was created. And I like to tell people twins, even identical twins, may not be comprised of the same dosha, their same essence. Maybe you identical, but they're not necessarily identical in the way they ebb and flow in life.
Wow.
So that's one of the things you can get along when you take that test or that quiz. You get all kind of information that are catered to your unique dosha. So if you're a pitta, you're going to get all kind of information about being a pitta, food, what you should be eating, what you should be doing, what you shouldn't be doing, how to stay balanced, different types of exercise, all of that. And that's for each and every dosha. So there's the vata, pitta, and kapha doshas. And there's a combination that goes along with that. You'll find how you can get copies of the books we just talked about on the website. You'll find my program, Wellness to Well, my Blissful Slumber program. And you'll find, my links to my podcast, links to my show for women called Bold Unstoppable, where we discuss topics that affect us women in today's society. You will find my blog information. You'll find everything that's all about Rochele Marie Lawson when it comes to living blissfully and having that balance in your wellness, wisdom, and wealth. And if you need some assistance, you can definitely reach out to me on that side as well. But it's full of information to help you on your journey as you travel down your path to bliss, to have a more blissful journey while you're doing that. And then as far as the Bold Unstoppable Women's community, it's a community made for you. If you are a bold, unstoppable woman and you're out there doing things unapologetically in a good way, then this might be the community for you, because again, it's all about community connection and collaboration. Some of the gals in there have already had access to abundance of things that come to me that I share with them and I share in this community. So if you're looking to level your game, make some heartfelt connections, you want to check it out, because it's going to be changing and up leveling just a little bit. So this is a perfect time to get in when it's super, super affordable and can make a huge difference in your life and in your business. And I'm thinking, I don't know, if, everything is here. You got it laid out so good, Vicki. So, and then if you can't find me, it's because you're not looking for me. I'm known as the Queen of Feeling Fabulous. Everybody, well, not everybody, but a lot of people know Rochele Marie Lawson. And if they don't, they probably have heard about me. So I speak internationally, speak all over the place. Oh, and lastly, you can find out information about the Brave, Bold, Unstoppable Women Summits, and when the next summit may be coming to a city near you.
Awesome. Well, it has been so wonderful chatting with you again. We have to do this more often. I love having time with you. You are just such an awesome person. I just love having you on the show. And so, as always, I remind everyone that life is a journey and it's up to you to enjoy the ride. This is Vicki Noethling signing off.
Thank you for tuning into the Find Your Leadership Confidence podcast with Vicki Noethling, where we share impactful lessons that help you grow as an individual, grow your confidence, and find the positive and good within you so you powerfully and authentically become the best version of yourself. Remember to visit our website at www.findyourleadershipconfidence.com and enjoy even more great episodes like this one. Again, while you're here, subscribe to us via your favorite network. We look forward to seeing you next time on the Find Your Leadership Confidence podcast.